very, very much late. Episode 8.
What
up, Bubbazoom? How's it going, buddy?
It's okay.
Yeah, I know I'm a giga late on like episode 7. I barely have episode 6. Last week was episode 7. I don't even have that cracked open. And now we're doing episode 8, which is, I'm hoping, if I want to be responsible and kind of get everything under wraps, this weekend would be delightful if I can get them all cranked out, but I have to be particularly motivated for it because now I'm focusing my ass on fucking school. God, so are you. You got school stuff you're focusing on as well,
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna work out.
I know, right?
So
Yeah, excited for you, dude. That's badass.
especially won't get into it.
Yeah, we'll try not to because, yeah, there's a particular former employer that's gonna like, I guess,
Crumble.
crumble from the inside out.
Just crumble
Yeah,
to
just-
dust.
This is one of those things where it's like, how is it that a company doesn't focus on tenure and talent when they actually have it? Because what's funny is that we worked with each other for the better part of 2 years, and during that time, we were able to essentially manage and develop probably the best team.
Yeah.
Like not only in the store, but
It was great.
that and better
Yeah.
the best team that they ever had in
Yes,
that warehouse. Right?
I know it. And it's not even tooting our own horns. I could see it. We lived it. It's the truth.
It's hard to be like not be sound or be egocentric about such a notion.
Yeah.
But it's one of those prevailing feelings that you'll witness over time where you're just kind of like, you get into a flow, and you cooperate with everyone as a team and you like everyone on the team.
Yeah.
Right? Like that rarely happens in and of itself. It's because everyone is like on the ball and then that team gets fucking eviscerated for no reason other than to save a buck.
Yeah.
And keep wages down. And next thing you know, like people start leaving in mass and customer dissatisfaction and the cadence of things getting done fucking get thrown into the gutter.
Yeah. They're screwed and everyone sees it. Everyone knows that was the best group back there.
Yeah, we had it. We absolutely had it locked down.
And it's gone now. So imagine that.
I can't even imagine. So like in hindsight, it's one of those like serendipitous things where it's like, again, I've said this before, but like I straight up, I deserve to get my ass shake hand. Like back in February, 1000% I deserved it because I was fucking mad that they eviscerated our team. Yeah. So I was very vocal about it in a very unprofessional way. Absolutely. I had the right to get my ass shake hand. But because of that allowed me the opportunity to essentially I took it easy. Like I played a lot of video games. I did a lot of like goofing around, didn't really do a whole lot. But then when push came to shove, I was like, all right, cool. Let's go look for a job. I'm like, got to the point where I was like, do I really want to do all these like entry level crap that I've done for the past like 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
No, I want to try something different. And that's when when you hear in like mental health advocacies where it's like tap into your inner child. Well, that's kind of what I did. Like, what was it that I was really, really interested in when I was a kid? And that's when I pulled the trigger on multimedias because that was my original interest when I was a fucking kid.
Yeah. You get to learn Unreal. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Unreal. You get so cool.
Yeah. It's like, that's like, I've never tapped into any of that as far as like experimenting or anything of interest. I've only ever really dabbled in like video editing, like in a very like below amateur level, but like video editing, audio editing,
More
that kind of
experience
stuff.
than you think.
Yeah.
More than a lot of people have, just dabbling even.
So either way, I'm like starting literally from the ground up at the age of 40, which like I have no shame in, like at all. Like I don't give two shits. Like here's the thing is I'm probably going to end up being more childlike than most of the fucking kids that I'll be in class with. Like there's a good chance like I'll probably end up being like the semi goofball ass older kid. Like I'll probably end up being like a Billy Madison. And speaking of, I actually watched that last night with the wife.
So good.
I love that movie. But anyways, like there's a very good chance I may end up pulling off like the Billy Madison shtick.
Well, Tolkien didn't write The Hobbit till I think he was 45.
Something like that.
So, right, the KFC guy, he was old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not
I think like the dude that first made Grey Goose, he was like 70 or something like that.
And then probably died 5 years later. Happy retirement. You made it.
You made it.
You won the lottery.
You got it. But yeah, it's like at the same time, it's like it's never really too late. And that's why I'm really glad you're deciding to kind of like go on your adventure again with post-secondary, a second round. Because again, it sets a really good example for your kids for the third. Yeah, third technically. But yeah, it sets a really good example for your kids where it's like, yeah, never too late at all. And it's always good to like expand your repertoire.
And I never believed that as a kid. You feel like, oh, you're not doing this and this and this, by then you're a loser. But you realize as you get older when your parents are saying, like my mom loved her 40s, said they were some of the best years of her life.
Well, that's actually reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, like, but yeah, we're going to school, man. Well, you're definitely going to school. It doesn't matter
at some point, whether it's a month and a half or a couple months later, the same thing's happening. Mid-October, quote me. Best
Buy, they can get fucked. God. But yeah, actually, and this is funny too, because this is something that we had technically had been working towards for the better part of
Christmas.
I'll tell this story, because like how this essentially all came about is we ended up getting really, really pissed off during the holidays one, like a couple years back. And we're like, this is the last one. We're making a fucking pact. Yeah. This is the last one that we're ever enduring with this shit company.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water, together or separately, we're out of here. Deal.
And you did too, because I was gone on leave for that one and you had to do it.
Oh yeah.
Like that's right. Awful. I'm so sorry.
Oh, there's no.
I know, but my God,
that's the thing.
Condolences.
That's the thing, is that kind of brings back to like more like business talk or whatever. But like when a single individual is not present, and that that lack of presence is so heavily felt, and it's like no fault of your own, because like it's whatever. It's like it's your own health, man. It's like I would advocate for you to put your health above everything.
Of course.
Any rational human being would fucking feel and say that same thing.
But just having to live that, I can't imagine how it was last year.
In comparison to like last year, it wasn't. In comparison to last year, like when I'm talking last year. So let's see. This would have been during the holidays of 2024 or 3. Is the last one that we worked together.
Yes.
That one, don't get me wrong, out of like the 6 that I did, that one's probably up there in the top 3 of the shittiest. The year before that, the 2022 winter, that was the fucking worst. I have never. Oh my God.
What's a highlight?
I can tell you the highlight.
Yes.
That place got fucking flooded on right. On December 23rd at like 1 a.m.
Sorry to interrupt one quick. This is one of the stories of the whole place.
This is the story. Yeah.
But this is bit. Yeah.
That some bitch got fucking flooded on December 23rd as a result of the vestibule pipes bursting. How did that happen, Bubbazoom? How the fuck could that possibly happen? Maybe we were in a minus 40-degree cold snap the day before, and that entire day before, that door was left wide the fuck open. That's not very smart, Bubbazoom. Why the fuck would you do that?
From a manager.
From a manager, yes. And why the fuck would you do that, Bubbazoom? That's so dumb. Oh, that's because the doors are pieces of shit and they're broken. Yeah. Oh, you should have put in a ticket.
And they knew it. They know these things. They know.
Dozens of tickets were submitted. And like, how many times we've seen repair guys come in and fuck around with that door over that time? So many times throughout the entire years that I've seen dozens of technicians come in and fuck with that door. That door should have been gutted and replaced completely. But anyways, I digress. That door was fucked, and so their solution was just leave it open. So of course it's open in minus 40.
Customers having it go open and closed, right? Was the whole thing.
Well, how it ended up going down is that the mechanism wasn't able to open and close the door automatically. So one of the guys ended up having to go out there all bundled up and do it by hand, right? So his solution, rather than doing it by hand when people enter and exit, was just to leave it the fuck open and just stand next to it.
It was cold.
-40, dude.
It was cold.
And like that doesn't even include the wind chill. That was like just the temperature. That doesn't even include wind chill, which like where we live, hurricanes happen, god damn it.
And what did they do? They must have closed the store.
They must have closed the store. No. So then when the store closed at the end of the night and the door and you shut it all, and of course you got the heater still going full blast, what happens when things are frozen and you rapidly heat it up? What happens? Expansion happens. Oh shit, science. Fuck shit. We're in science territory. Fuck me. So expansion happens. So what happens when rapid expansion happens? Things tend to break. Yep. What breaks? The fucking pipes.
Yeah, waterfall. Niagara Falls in the vestibule. If you walked through the building, you'd be drenched in water.
I wish I could.
So they must have closed.
They must, so again, right? this and the pipes burst at around 1 a.m. or 12 or some. I think it was like 12:45, 1 a.m. or something like that, going into December 23rd, right? So this catastrophe all happens, and so managers get there and are fighting with it, and are having to deal with it, and of course the fire department shows up and get the water all shut off, and they're funneling all the water out and whatnot. But that was. The damage was done. The place was flooded.
It was flooded, yeah.
So from the vestibule all the way back to the home theater desk and all the way back to customer service was water.
Yep. There was plugins on the floor in the mobile department right at the front.
Yeah, there was outlets at the Apple station or whatever.
Yeah,
had the little outlet that's embedded in the ground, right?
Facing
up. Yeah, I like this fact that.
Like a pool.
That alone stuns me as how that place didn't have like an electrical hazard, like a severe electrical hazard and probably a fire hazard on top of that because of that setup alone and because of that situation. How that didn't like happen is beyond me.
Yeah.
Insane. But anyways, but surely Bubbazoom, because of something so catastrophic on December 23rd, right before the holiday season, Boxing Day right around the corner, like, oh man, sorry, got to close shop.
Safety comes first.
Got to close shop.
No.
Nope. We were able to delay opening by an extra hour. 1 hour or 2 hours? I can't remember.
That's going to dry up.
I think it was like 2 hours. I think we had an extra 2 hour delay to open up. So remember, this is during the holidays. So there's always your, got to open early times. You got your modified hours.
2 hours would do nothing.
Yeah. So I think we were scheduled to open up at 8:00 a.m. and they gave us till 10 a.m. to try and fix a flood. What's the solution to that? I don't know. Let's spread around a fuck ton of fans all over the floor and cables flying all over the place, and let's try and air dry it out. You have decibel levels probably in the 60s to 70s.
And it's still -40.
Oh, and it's still -40. Yeah, we're still undergoing
and the pipes are still broken.
Pipes are still broken. Water's still off. Yeah. And so, oh yeah. And of course, it's during the holidays. So what happens during the holidays in retail stores that have a mass amount of inventory? Maybe those products are also spread out in bulk out on the floor. There's a big flood, and I just mentioned that the water went from the vestibule back to customer service and home theater. Yeah, a lot of fucking shit got damaged. Yeah. What did you have to do? We got an extra 2 hours to clear the entire floor of everything that was damaged.
Put some fans down.
And throw them into the warehouse anywhere that you can. By the way, the warehouse is super fucking tiny. And so there wasn't a hell of a lot of room to begin with. So not only was there fire hazard, electrical hazards, but we're also like blocking off emergency exits in the warehouse because there was nowhere to put all this stuff. And then, what else? Oh yeah, then we had high decibel levels as a result of all the fans that were doing fucking nothing. And you had the cable outlets flying everywhere as well. So you had tripping hazards on top of that. Oh, and then the
electrical.
And then the caveat to that is the fucking heater that they brought in to heat up the door. What am I talking about?
Okay. Oh, was that the oven?
practically an oven. So they ended up bringing in this gigantic space heater that literally used kerosene. That thing was fueled by fucking kerosene. And they pointed it at the door because remember, we're under a cold snap because that lasted, I think, for about almost over a week, where it hovered between, I think almost 2 weeks, where it hovered between minus 35 degrees Celsius and then cold chills down to as low as minus 45, 47 degrees, somewhere in there, this entire time. So they're blasting this heater at the door because this door is literally frozen shut. Like an ice cube, literal ice cube, because it just finished getting...
We got open. Bye.
So
hurry.
Customers are literally walking past this fucking heater that's practically a jet engine. So it's loud as hell because it's powered by kerosene. And it smells like hell because it's kerosene. And it was one of those things like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I got fucking pictures and I'm really, really tempted to just be like, boop, boop. I really want to, but I would have to like buzz out all of the faces.
Easy to do.
I wonder if I should. Should I just boop?
They put customers and employees in danger so they could sell stuff for 5 or 6 more hours in a day. If it had been February, they would have closed. That's the thing.
They gave us an extra 2 hours to try and clean up a mess. Oh, by the way, we're giga understaffed. There was literally two of us that were scheduled for that morning, and we came in to that. We had the other managers that were there to like help out, and like they cleared out all the shit, most of the shit off the floor and whatnot. But yeah, we all fucking had to go of it because of that.
She should have shut the store, whether she had a choice or not. Coward. Frickin' coward.
Yep,
I don't care. That's not worth any risk. Could you imagine if a customer had come and got electrocuted? Or
there's like,
anything.
Here's the thing is that, and of course, generally, like whenever you're hearing about us like bitching and complaining about these kind of safety issues and whatnot, and you'd be like, oh, well, surely you told people. It's like, we fucking did. Mm-hmm. We went up the chain. We went up as, honestly, where I should have, what I should have done was immediately put a call to like Alberta, like safety board that's in charge of that. And I'd be like, get down here immediately and come see this. This is nuts. That's what I should have done. But of course, you're under the gun where it's like, you're trying to claw yourself out of debt in a retail setting because you're getting paid shitty. Mm-hmm. And so you don't want to risk your benefits and you don't want to risk your pay. So you're the ever prevailing feeling of being trapped and having like no choice and don't want to do anything to risk it. That cloud immediately comes overhead where you'd be like, do I really want to rock the boat that hard? And it's like, yeah, but they can't retaliate. But surely they can't retaliate.
Yeah, right? Like the anonymous surveys, but you have to log in for. Yeah. You have to log in.
And yeah, we've seen our fair share of what no retaliation means.
Oh, you speak up about anything there, you're gone.
You're gone for one reason or another, whether it's like direct or not. It doesn't matter. It's so goddamn, yeah. So no retaliation. Fuck you, bullshit. Anyways, so actually, and on top of that, those survey, and when the next round of blue shirt surveys or whatever the fuck they're called, blueprint survey, whatever the fuck it is. Anyways, where essentially they take a survey from all the employees every year to say, how did we do? What could we have done better? Whatever. I blasted. It's one of those surveys where there is absolutely no way that you could have read that and be like, that's not Rob. There's no way that could have happened. And be like, that's not Rob. It's like, no, it was definitely him. Because guess what? Everything that was flying out of my mouth was written. What did I hear? Surely that complaint, that survey and that complaint that I lodged did something.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Nothing. Zero. Nothing, dude.
I would have died.
Fuck that place.
One more safety story I've told you. Recently, the loss prevention guy and this other dude came down. He's the Geek Squad manager. Not a warehouse guy, just doesn't matter really. He's a corporate guy, district guy. And the warehouse is so small that we send the pallets back every week, the returns. And if those don't come first, our warehouse is all bunged up. Can't move, you can't do anything in the totes. You spread them out. You got to have room for returns to get out.
The warehouse
basically.
is long and narrow.
Very narrow. You can't have two pallets side by side. And then at the very other end, it's a long hallway. There's skinny as well, and the fire escape.
Yep.
And he said, why aren't we doing totes? Why aren't we finishing truck in one day? Well, because
Same
blah,
day
blah,
truck,
blah, blah, blah.
goddamn.
You can't, the returns need to come first. What I just explained to you. And he said, just throw the returns pallets down there, meaning
at the
down
far
where
end.
the TVs at the far end are. There's a fire escape there.
Yep.
Just block the fire's lane. The fire marshal won't show up. That is what he said. Those were his words.
The fire marshal will show up, just throw it there, fuck it.
What if there were a fire and we had to get out that way? What if? They don't care about employee safety. They don't give a shit.
Not in a preventative way, no. And of course, like
they react.
So reactionary.
Yeah.
It's like, and of course, if something were to happen, then the post-meeting conference, public or PR, they would be like, if only we will do better next time. Only there's something that we could have done or whatever. It's like, we will make sure training is up to snuff. It's like, now when you got corporate cunts saying...
Your safety is our highest priority.
Your safety is our highest
priority. Like there's always...
And then you got corporate cunts saying, no, actively fuck your safety. Work needs to be done.
We could have an expose on that place. Like a big... It's almost
all you would need is just or 5 or 6 key people in a circle telling stories.
Yes,
that's all you need.
And the Avengers are starting to assemble.
Quite literally, that's all it takes. Like just 5 or 6 key people that know most of these stories and can add on to it would sit in the circle. We just drink and tell stories.
Here's
and
the team.
You'd be shocked as some of the bullshit that come out of it.
Here's the team. Me, you, the other full-time guy who got fired.
T.
My current full-time.
Yeah, T. You'd be good.
And a certain someone else, potentially.
TR.
Him too.
Yeah, TR would be a good one. And then we got there'd be
a crew.
Yeah, we'd have it'd be one of those things where it's like literally just having a couple of drinks, telling stories, and you're ripping on your old employer. That's literally how I would set it up. But like the shit that would come out of our mouths would be fucking stunning.
It'd be trauma dumping. We would have to relive it. It'd be therapy.
It kind of would be. It would be weird. Holy shit.
Like there'd be stuff that would come back in our memory that we trauma out of our brain. Like borderline abusive type stuff there.
But anyways, though, I know this kind of went on big like fuck Best Buy tangent. I know it's not exactly what we expected, but hey, that's again tip of the iceberg, and holy shit,
more to come.
But that's where I guess how we got on the topic is because getting shit canned for me anyways, it was serendipitous because getting shit canned from Best Buy and then deciding to go to school in the summertime, honestly, is probably like the kick in the ass that I wanted in a sense. But anyways,
I know.
It's always, by the way, kids, it's always better to get fired than fucking quitting. So
yeah, it is.
Always get fired. And sometimes it's worth
quiet quitting.
I'm not in favor of quiet quitting. I'll explain my notion when it comes to quiet quitting. I'm totally not in favor of that to an extent, but I am in favor of purposely getting your ass shit canned to get yourself severance.
Totally.
1000%.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Get shit canned.
And be be a chip on their shoulder that they can't shake.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like staying part-time 2 days. Yeah. That's more satisfying than just not doing your job. They expect it. It looks bad on you. I'd want to mess with them.
Because like
more.
I grew up with the notion of like not burning bridges, which like, don't get me wrong, to an extent I get.
This place changed my mind.
But there are instances where not only does a bridge not deserve to be burned down, it needs to be fucking blown up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's happening.
Right? Like sometimes that bridge needs to be blown the fuck up. And like sometimes there's like just certain connections that are just absolutely like not worth even thinking about.
They're so toxic. You
thinking about preserving. No way.
No, I can't imagine talking to a couple upper management people again in my life. I wouldn't want to.
Hell no. Nope.
Ever.
Like,
they're gone. They're cut.
Yeah, exactly. Like they
don't care about
to
them.
me, in my head, they're dead. Like they don't exist to me anymore.
And especially like networking, I don't care.
Yeah, especially when like the district asshole is like has like the most punchable face in the world. To me, anyways, mostly because of his actions are what makes his face so goddamn punchable. But anyways, or rather, lack of actions. I know we get into like Best Buy tangent. We fucking hate that place, man. And this is one of those instances where the only reason why we hung on to the job wasn't so much because of the job, it's because of the people that we worked with. We liked the tasks, and we liked like the work itself, like the type of work that we did.
But anything out on that floor? No.
Yeah, like the actual work itself was fine.
Yeah.
The people that we worked with were awesome. Like we worked with so many good people.
Yeah.
And so that's literally what made us come into work for like day after day for over 2 years.
We're
like,
a
together.
Finely tuned machine. Like we just ran.
But we were just constantly poked, prodded, and micromanaged. And then of course, when it came to like eviscerating our team by doing senseless layoffs for no reason other than to like balance a spreadsheet. That's literally the only purpose. But yet like the entire team was functioning and everyone was busy always. Like that's my biggest thing. Like that's what pissed me off the most when it came to a lot of the layoffs, especially when it came to our team, is because none of us were complacent. In other words, we all had our specialties. We all had each other's backs.
Yes.
We were very much a fine oil machine.
We didn't even need to speak.
Hardly ever. Yeah.
Like Friday mornings when it was so-and-so would do signage, so-and-so, and it was just unspoken. People would have their buds in doing whatever, and we just did it. We knew what we were meant to do. We were like ants.
A sign of a good time, a sign for a company to start laying people off is when you are finding that there's too many people fucking around, right? That is literally been my experience working literally as a grunt for like ever since I was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old, right? So 25 years of working has taught me that as soon as people are fucking around and there's not enough work to go around, people are losing their jobs. Period. There's 2 instances in our warehouse where there is absolutely no fucking need to, because everyone was constantly busy. We were still getting work done because our work cadence execution was awesome because everyone was on task and everyone was busy and everyone had shit to do every week. It was awesome. It flowed so good. But then they started doing senseless layoffs, and next thing you know, we all had to pick up the piece. We couldn't pick up the pieces because the work overflow was above how many hours we could fit in a day.
Yeah.
The only solution was more bodies, and they ripped them away. And then they had the audacity to start ripping into us for shit not getting done. You gave us the inability to get it done.
They wrote me up.
Yeah, that's right. They wrote your ass up.
I was on a gradual return to work plan from being on leave, and they wrote me up because
that's right. I forgot about that. Fuck.
It was my fault and not the people that like it just did. I don't get it.
Yeah, classic case of like shit rolls downhill because like technically you are our leader. I'm
the fall guy.
Yeah, you're our senior/team lead. You were essentially the fall guy for the shit that couldn't get done from us. Even though You know me. I can't keep my mouth shut. I was very vocal about the inadequacies of the amount of labor that we were given in comparison to the tasks that we needed to get done, the non-negotiables that absolutely need to be done on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
And coupled with all of the additional stuff that happens on the side, we were just, it just started slipping away so fast. It took 2 weeks before it started slipping.
UPU times like triple from, we were 2 minutes, mate. It's like 6.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I get back from lunch and you see an order, 25 minutes.
Oh my God.
Because someone's not watching.
Can you imagine trying to place an order with Best Buy and it takes 25 minutes to get a notification saying it's accepted? Best Buy doesn't give a fuck about their customers.
No, of course they do not at all. Everything's just numbers, and people sell people 2 memberships there. The monthly membership, you're familiar. It's just a monthly benefits. And they sold this woman a double membership knowing full well she had one already.
One of the sales guy double dipped her. Fuck. Of course. Why am I not surprised?
Because it's all they care about. They only care about numbers. The results and numbers and how many numbers you can bring in.
Yep. Well, that's why they have their
no matter how incompetent those some numbers people are.
Yeah. Like, well, you know, it's purely a numbers game when every morning, when you're doing your morning huddles and whatnot, and what is the first thing to come out of people's mouths? Stats. Stats from the day before. How did we do the day before? Let's look at all the stats. How can we improve? Number go up. Yeah, just like that.
And just like, hey guys, how is everyone? How's everyone's morning going? How
our good manager was like that. He was all about that, right? And he was like, and that's the difference. Like, all of the managers did do that. Say, hey, how's it going? How is everyone doing this morning? Right? There's a difference between the authenticity of all of them.
Yeah.
There's only one of them actually did it genuinely and authentically. The rest of them just did it because it's like, all right, this is just literally just checking a box. I don't give a shit what's filled in. I did it. I don't care what anyone says.
The other 2 now are just that.
Yeah.
Robots. Don't care about you. About anyone.
But the focus of every morning meeting is literally just stats.
Yeah. And people don't care. No one cares at those meetings. People only like them so we could stand there for 5 or 10 minutes to do nothing because that place sucks. Like, but yet I hoped to God the back door would buzz when we were there too, those meetings. Yeah, they fell on deaf ears. They don't care.
Nope, they don't care.
No, they don't care.
Nope, they don't give a fuck. Anyways, well, let's talk about something a little bit more fun. But yeah, school for us. Let's do it. Yeah. Anyways, so allegedly Borderlands is shit.
Yeah. I was really hoping it would be good, but I'm not surprised. But I do hope it, and I think we talked about this when we saw Deadpool in theater, that we hope it becomes like a cult hit at least. In one of those so bad it's good scenarios, then it'd be all right.
I think so.
But I won't be seeing it in theaters. I doubt I'll even watch it.
Apparently, like the embargo, I think was lifted today.
Yeah.
For it, and it literally was at a 0%.
The day before it comes out, too. That's when the embargo date's a day before the movie releases. That's a bad sign.
I never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, if they're confident in it, you release it early, you build buzz. They got no, or you're trying to avoid no, even with Deadpool though, it was a few days before.
That was a few days, yeah.
But a day before.
But a day before, that's a little
for a movie
crazy
already that no one really cared about. It's not something you think is going to be good. Not the newest God of War game about to drop in the embargoes a day before. This is a Borderlands movie. The cast I thought
could be really fun. Okay, yeah. See, you know what? That's where I'm a little bit fucked up because on the surface, when I was first looking at this movie and looked at all the cast and saw the first trailer, I'm like, okay, yeah, it has potential. I think it might be at least fun. It might not be
to
the
capture its
best,
silliness, you know.
but I think it might be like at the very least fun, right?
Yeah.
But okay, two things. For the fact that reviewers are giving it a zero. Like at the time that it had 0%, 10 reviews were dropped. So here's the thing.
Oh, that's worse than I thought.
Oh yeah, that was in the first 10. Now, here's the thing in my opinion, when it comes to critic reviews of media of any kind, right? I typically never put any kind of professional critic's opinion. I don't give it very much thought at all.
Well, they're looking and watching for different reasons.
Yeah, exactly. They're in very different lens.
Yeah.
Professional critique lens versus like your casual watcher lens, right?
Yeah.
Are going to be two
which is most of the audience.
Two very, very different experiences, right? And so I have a tendency to like lean more towards what the mass viewer ratings are. Like that's where IMDb is really, really good because that's how you can gauge as to whether something is possibly worth your time. After you watch a trailer, read a synopsis, and if the review is good, be like, okay, you might pull the trigger and give it a chance, right? Yeah. That's actually how the wife decided to watch Leverage with me. It's a good show. And was that she's like, okay, the premise is kind of up my alley. It's rated decently. I'll give it a shot. Okay. And she ended up liking it. Ta-da, right? Good formula. And and that's my general approach when it comes to movies, is kind of that, because except for watching trailers. I don't watch trailers anymore because fuck trailers.
Show the whole movie.
Practically. So I don't watch trailers or any of that shit, except for games. I watch trailers for games, so that's it. The cast and the first trailer, like, kind of gave that vibe that I'm like, okay, because I put in like an ungodly amount of hours in the Borderlands series. So I'm like, okay, it has that vibe.
Yeah, it looks like it's the vibe, right?
It might be passable. For me, I was like, it looks passable.
Even a 6 out of 10, I'd be like, oh, it's fun. You know, one of those, fine.
So I thought, sure, it's going to be passable. Most commenters are going to be like, well, I don't put much stock into fucking critics anyways because they're getting paid to do this.
But 10 out of 10 people hated it.
So and that's where people have the opinion on both ends. If it's highly well rated, but it's actually shit, or in this case, it's absolute shit, dunk rating. But what happens if like the viewers are like, oh, it's actually really good? That paradigm happens all the time.
Baywatch with The Rock.
The wife and I actually actively look for that ratio where the critics dunk on it and the user reviews are crazy high in comparison. The wife and I look for movies and shows that have that ratio, just because when is that polarizing?
Depends on the type of movie too.
Oh yeah. I'm generalizing, but like, when is that polarizing? That polarization is what draws us to being like, gives us interest. In this case, I don't think it's going to be that.
Clearly not. Again, 100% of reviewers, 10 people. Gather 10 random reviewers and 10 of them hated it. That's not good. It's probably bad. Yeah, and see, no one cared about it to begin with. Even if it was bad, people probably would have gone.
I've never seen such a low franchise. I've never seen a franchise I love so much be butchered this badly.
This is a bomb, a big stinky bomb.
Now I almost want to watch it because it's a train wreck.
But some movies are so bad they're unwatchable. They're not entertainingly bad. This one sounds just bad, unwatchable.
Don't get me wrong. I had a very big question marks on the cast. When it came to the casting, I had question marks, dude. Like I was kind of like, not to say any of them are particularly bad, but for the roles, it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
But the trailer kind of gave me a little. Don't get me wrong, and I like Jack Black. Wife hates him, but really, I like Jack Black, right? And I'm not a big fan of Kevin Hart. I think he's pretty annoying. But like, don't get me wrong, he's talented. He's a talented actor.
Yeah,
but he's just not my style, and I think
he's not your. That's all. Not your jam. I looked at the updated 45 reviews from critics. 7% now. It's gone up.
Oh my
audience score
God.
50.
24 and 0. It was still at 0 at 24, dude.
So 45 instead of 7%.
That means like, oh my God, like 1 or 2 people gave it like
at least like a 6 or whatever,
or a 5
or
or
whatever it is, right?
Oh my God. Oh.
Depending on the reviewer too, some are just contrary to whatever the masses say too. So that 7%.
I never watched Madam Web.
Yeah, Madam Web.
Nope, I will never watch Madam Web because that movie terrifies me. Nope. Rebel Moon. Nope, terrifies me.
But
as well.
he has a director's cut again.
Nope, both those movies terrify me. Absolutely not. Nope.
You can't make it right the first time, Zack Snyder. Don't release a director's cut every time.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
In the movie it worked, but I can't see a serious Gambit movie with him that they were going to make.
I wish they'd done better on the eyes. I wish they actually gave Gambit eyes.
Yeah, that's a miscast.
No, I like Channing Tatum.
I like Channing Tatum a lot. I don't like him as Gambit.
No, I like him as Gambit.
No.
See, this is where we fucking differ on that movie. No. I loved him as Gambit.
I liked him in Deadpool as Gambit because it worked with the movie. I mean, that Gambit movie that was planned, I'm glad I can't see him in a solo Gambit movie. I can see him in the same tone as Deadpool.
Okay. But I hope that in this case here, I hope he does get a movie, but I hope it's like a team up movie.
I'd be good with that. If he's the Gambit in X-Men, the new reboot X-Men, which will happen, I'm fine with that. A solo Gambit movie, I think would have been really bad. Maybe not. But going from, mind you, Fox didn't make as bad of movies. Fox movies weren't as bad.
I don't know.
The X-Men movies, I mean. The rest of the Fox stuff was not very good. Fan Four Stick. You ever see that? No.
I'd rather not. But here's the thing. I'm probably
boring.
Oh man. I kind of
offer.
Dude, I kind of want to watch it. I want to see the movie just to see a train wreck, but at the same time, I don't want them to bastardize a franchise that I've spent so much time in and enjoyed.
And this is so bad that I don't want to give my money in any way to this studio and accept shit like this.
Oh, agreed. Don't get me wrong. I'll
download it.
No, yeah, here's the thing. I'll watch it my own way, but I ain't giving them fucking money. That's for damn sure.
No. Not at all.
Not a chance,
Refuse.
Man. Yeah, dude, how do you do this? How do you do this? You had the ingredients right in the fucking front of you.
Yeah.
You had the ingredients.
Probably someone who didn't play the game. If it is, well, maybe you're just not a very good movie maker.
Dude.
Sorry.
Henry Cavill has gone on record so many times, not only about about the handling of the source material for The Witcher, but do you know how vocal he's been about Warhammer?
Oh yeah. And that may not even happen now.
May not happen, but and here's the thing.
Expensive.
Well, expensive. But if it doesn't happen because he's not satisfied with how the source material is being handled, fucking good.
Then you know it's bad.
Hey man, fool that man once when it comes to source material. I understand. You got caught with Witcher and whatnot, and you understood. Now you understand what happens when source material gets fucked with. What comes out? Dog shit.
Yeah. Now they're ending The Witcher. And it's because he's gone. He was the show.
He understood the
it was
fucking role.
When Steve Carell left The Office, he was the show. There's more characters. He's the show.
Yep.
It's The Witcher. And he did it so well. He was made for that role.
Here's an asterisk to such a role change that's actually positive, but under different circumstances. Spartacus. Have you ever watched that show?
No.
So that was the show from that was featured on Stars. It's fucking incredible.
Oh,
so
the
good.
dude died after the first season, didn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude died as a result of cancer after the first season.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the first season, fucking incredible. And so they had to replace him, but in the interim, they had a prequel series that was called Gods of the Arena, and that was essentially as a filler season to get the casting and everything rolling for the second season.
Right.
And Gods of the Arena was fucking so good. Oh my god, I love that one. That was so the whole thing is amazing. But Gods of the Arena, holy fuck. Anyways, I gush over that show. I love it so much. I've seen that show top to bottom like in double digits. That is probably that is the number one show I have seen most easily.
Wow.
Easily. Anyways, and season 2, they ended up recasting the guy that played Sparkus and whatnot, and he fucking nailed it.
So it can
nailed
work.
it. But like it was under very, very different circumstances, right? And here's the thing is that after the first season, and like this is like, and I was watching like as it was coming out, like that's why I was so hooked on it. Is like after watching the first season, that was literally the feeling was like this guy is the show. Like it is this dude.
Yes.
Right. And so then when hearing that he had died, it's like show dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so the fact that they were like, no, we're going to try and continue on, which at the time for me, I was kind of like as a fan, as a watcher, I was kind of like, please don't tarnish that.
Yeah.
Please do good. Like, don't fuck it up. And he delivered like a son of a bitch. And he was, in my opinion, equal footing. Equal. Like he was like 1-to-1 good. As good.
Maybe Liam Hemsworth will be then.
Here's the thing is that no matter how good it is,
it's not Henry
it's
Cavill.
still axed. This show is still axed. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. And why did they? Clearly, they're not very confident in it anymore with the recast done. This is just a kind of, here's an ending. Surprised they did that, even though actually a lot of shows don't even get endings.
Yep. No different than like the recent layoffs for Bungie and whatnot. It's like, no matter that, because that layoff was pre-planned, because no matter how good that expansion was going to sell, like there was nothing that was going to save those jobs, which is fucked up, because no matter how good that product would have been received, they would still lost their jobs. That was no different.
No. How many people?
220, I think.
God, these game studios. Oh my God.
Yeah, the amount of layoffs.
Talking meat grinder.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Retail meat grinding culture is one thing, but man,
I don't know in a way which is worse.
What the fuck, dude? No.
I mean, both things are true, right? Like both are bad. Yeah, different ways.
And my camera, I'm just like, oh man, I'm like, you can barely see me. Hell, you can't even see my shirt. See? Behemoth. I love that band. It's a good band. Anyways. Yeah, speaking of Behemoth, anyways, Behemoth is like known to be a very, very like, well, Behemoth is from Poland and they're very satanic. They have an album that's really called The Satanist.
Well, they actually are satanic. How long until they're canceled?
They're not like true Satanists or whatever. Oh, this is a band that's been sued by the Polish government multiple times for blasphemy laws.
Wow.
Oh, this band's has gotten sued for blasphemy stuff so many times. By Poland. Oh yeah, man. The Polish government hates these guys. Anyways, but what's been really, really funny is just seeing how people still having a reaction to fucking Gojira doing their opening and then calling them Satanists, a bunch of the most hippie metal band on earth that talks about flying whales in the Amazon rain and saving the Amazon rainforest and equality and putting in hard work and shit like that. Is apparently Satanist.
Yeah. Things that like the Bible teaches you.
And now we got Zoomers and shit like that pissed off that Cannibal Corpse's lyrics are so abhorrent. It's like, guys, no idea what their album covers look like.
No, it was a different time, These guys.
Like it's fucking music. It's horror music. Like different than horror movies. It's horror music.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, Jesus Christ, man. It's like Gojira's a Satanist band. People are pissed off over at Cannibal Corpse's lyrics. It's like the only thing we're missing is literally Tipper Gore coming out being like, PMRC is back, baby.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like laughing at the music culture right now in terms of like the outrage and whatnot. Oh, did you hear about here's the thing is I don't Did you hear what happened with the fucking Taylor Swift concert?
No.
Oh shit, that's fucking.
What
Here's
now?
the thing. I know nothing of that woman's career, her music. I know shit all about it. If you were to turn around and tell and be like I know what she looks like. That's it. I don't even know what she sounds like. Like I know nothing about her. But what I do know, the only thing I know about her is her fan base is fucking rabid.
Yeah, they are.
Like the
mob, the pitchforks come out. If you
they end up having to cancel a show in Austria because of a terrorist threat that turned out to be true.
Really?
Yeah, they end up apprehending a couple of guys.
What happened? What were they going to do?
Mass knife machete attack coupled with car ramming.
Car ramming.
Yeah, and apparently, I'm not sure if there was I thought I read something about gassing as well, of some kind. But either way, it was completely thwarted. It was thwarted, and they ended up canceling the whole show. They ended up canceling the whole thing. But yeah, this is in Austria.
Those Swifties are probably ripping their skin off. They're so disappointed.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, this is more of a testament to actually taking security seriously, as opposed to
keeping the Best Buy store open.
Yeah, essentially.
You know, at least
it was a safety issue regardless. And so the best thing to do was cancel it just in case. Completely the correct choice. 1000%. So here's the thing. No matter what kind of criticisms people lay on her for not being friendly to the environment, for taking a private jet, doing that whole meme, if you've ever seen that, people pissed off at her about flying her everywhere. It's I get it. I fucking get it. I'm a hippie. Make no mistake, I'm a hippie. So I get the complaint, but at the same time, it's I'm not going to waste my energy into worrying about that. But I will scrutinize over the actions of what is perceived to be a potential issue towards your fan base or towards your art, right? Yeah. In this case, there was a potential that wasn't even confirmed. It was a potential threat that they ended up apprehending and ended up being true. Thank God. Where they said, for everyone's best interest, cancel it, regardless of how serious it might be.
You have to. Yeah.
Right. And I'm just
too many people have
fucking rights.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The reason why I commend that even more from Swift Camp is because of the amount of money that's on the line. Because make no mistake.
Yeah, she can afford it.
She fills stadiums.
Yeah.
And those ticket seats are not cheap, no matter where you sit. And so for them to turn around and take a possibility seriously and cancel the whole thing and literally wipe the board clean of that revenue, thumbs up, man. It's you got my respect. So I won't listen to your shit. It's I don't give two shits about it's not my jam. It's not my culture. It's not my arena at all. But now I can say that I'm hey, at least I know that you actually have your fan base in mind.
Yes. Not Best Buy.
Yeah. Or exactly. But anyways, have you been playing anything?
Not really.
Not really? Yeah. See,
no.
I've just been kind of just prepping for the expansion release for a while. That's my only thing.
I'm trying to play something, but then I feel am I just doing this because I feel I have to do it? If I'm not finding enjoyment out of it right now, I don't know. But I do want to find something, finding a good book. You know? Yep.
Yeah. That's all I've been doing is as far as gaming is literally just dabbling in WoW still, just kind of prep, just doing the usual pre-expansion thing, clearing out your bag, selling stuff off, trying to earn a little bit of gold on the side to fund your next adventure and whatnot. And so I've just been dabbling in auction house stuff and just doing casual transmog collecting and whatever. So I haven't really been going very hard at all. And I don't know. I was even thinking about the notion of dabbling with an alt, and I don't play with alts in that game at all. So I was even thinking about do I want to fuck around with a demon with my demon hunter that I haven't touched in 4 years? Right. But at the same time, the expansion's coming out in 2 weeks, and it's I don't know if it's wise.
Maybe you'd fall in love with another class and want to play that.
It's very possible, but
spice it up.
My biggest thing is that my expertise for warrior is too high it's too high for me to abandon in a mythic raid setting.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I might like the aesthetic, the look, the feel of another class, I would never be able to mythic raid with it.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of time that I've sunken in and perfected my time, or I wouldn't say perfected, just the amount of experience that I've put behind my warrior. Going into a mythic raid setting without that same familiarity and muscle memory would
new game.
Not only would it be a new game, I would hold my team back way too hard.
Yeah.
I would end up holding my entire team back, and I would end up being the single weakest link that would potentially hinder like dozens and dozens of pulls, if not hundreds of pulls. It's not worth it.
Does anyone in your group have 2 alts at both mythic raid that they could choose from?
There's several.
There must be.
Oh yeah, we have I would say about over half of our roster is competent enough to mythic raid with anywhere between 3 to 5 characters, 3 to 5 classes. Yeah. There's like, for example,
and be geared enough. My God.
For example, like our raid lead or GM/raid lead, he's one of those guys that can literally pick up any class and mythic raid with it and raid lead at the same time. He can literally do that with any class.
Yeah, I don't get that. Wow.
Not with all specs, but he can do that
Still,
with all class. Like
you're playing it.
Like he's more DPS than he is. Like he doesn't tank, and he'll heal if he has to. He doesn't like it, but he's competent enough to heal in a mythic setting, and he can definitely do damage. And he can do it with pretty much any class. He literally acts as our wild card class. So, for example, if the roster, let's say throughout the recruiting stage of a tier,
yeah,
you are let's just say scenario wise, you're one and only shaman up in quits, and he's done or whatever, right? And you searched high and low, trialed other shamans, and no one is a good shoe in for it, right? And be like, all right, well, the tier is literally in 2 days and I don't have a shaman. He will literally pick up that mantle and main a shaman for the entire tier.
That's devotion.
He is fucking good. Here's the thing. As a raid lead, he can be a pain in the ass. Yes, I am talking about you. You can be a pain in the ass. Love you to bits, but you're a pain in the ass sometimes. Anyways, but he is incredibly competent and he is a good leader. He is a good raid leader.
Wink at the camera.
But no, he like, I don't know. It's hard to describe for because like he's one of those guys who's like very, very tenacious about performance, but in a positive way. Other people, there's other people on the in the past roster that would disagree, but in my opinion, no, he emphasizes people to perform and be prepared and preparedness and all that kind of stuff and to learn. But at the same time, he's also a teacher, so his patience for it is above normal for most people that I've experienced with in a raid setting. But at the same time, there's instances where like melee brains will kick in and he will be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and he will vocally be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? It's like, sometimes it can come off as being toxic, but there's been some times where it's like, yeah, what the fuck?
Where he's right.
Where it's like, what were we smoking?
Yeah. Like when you ran off the edge.
Hey, it didn't result in a wipe and we still got that kill. So I'm happy with that.
So funny.
Like, yeah, that's the second time that's happened where I've gotten cutting edge where I just got nicked and I'm on the fucking floor when we end up killing the boss. Well, I was rezzed and we killed it, but I still ended up dead.
So funny. So funny.
Yeah, I ended up just walking my ass right on the edge when I got the tornado. And it's all because like nerves were, because I was nervous and I accidentally hit the right click button at the same time while I was holding down the left click, which makes you walk forward, and I accidentally hit it. Yeah, I was so embarrassed by that. You have no idea. But it was funny. Don't get me wrong.
Story.
Hey, I got the mount because that's what made it even funnier is because I got the mount even when I died.
Yeah,
like
that's the classic.
the classic, you die, kill boss, get the loot for being the shittiest person on the team or the shittiest person on that pole.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. And I ended up getting it. I think I was the only death on that pole too.
On the kill.
On the kill pole, and I ended up getting the mount. Whew.
At least it's not like a legit death.
Nah, no, like
it's just oops.
Yeah, it was just an oopsie. And I got rezzed and whatnot. We still end up killing the boss. The deaths that really sting are the ones where you cause the wipe.
Yeah, I know it hurts.
Those are the ones that I'm like, oh, those sting. Those are so embarrassing. And those make me...
The molten core days, you are the bomb.
Those mechanics are still around.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like you are the bomb and the bomb also has like a knockback effect. Oh, and you knock off like the entire team.
Yeah.
Those are fun. And there's who was it? It was in during Shadowlands, Sanctum of Domination, Ner'zhul. He was that boss where someone would get the bomb debuff and everyone had to like stack up, and the bomb person had to be behind the group, and you're on a circular platform, right? And you had to be like pixel perfect, close to the edge. And the trick is you had to be facing away because the bomb would explode and knock you back and push everyone back. So if you were facing towards the middle, you'd get blown backwards off the edge. But everyone would still get blown in the same direction. But anyways, yeah, bomb mechanics have gotten way more sophisticated since then.
Yeah, I'd say. This one you just moved. You know?
Yeah, this one here you have to coordinate like really tightly.
Yeah,
and dodge swirlies like pretty much
swirlies
after. Yep,
particle effects.
But anyway, so that's as far as gaming goes. That's all I've. I tried. Oh, actually, no. I lie. I tried going back and tried playing StarCraft 1.
Oh,
yeah.
What was that?
Audio was broken. Couldn't fix it.
Oh.
So I somehow was, and all it was is that I don't know what it is. Because there's just no sound coming out. Like my sound drivers are perfectly fine. Like the audio for everything else works and is fine. StarCraft 1 doesn't work. I fucked around with it for like an hour, tripped something, and it got it working. I'm like, oh, sweet. All right, cool. So I played for like 2-3 hours, shut it off after the session, come back the next day for another session, played for 2 hours, sound was still working. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, we're good. I come back for a third session. I think this was like on Tuesday. Sound broken. Sound not working again. And I'm like, okay. So then I spent the next 2 hours after that trying to replicate what I did to make it work the first time.
It didn't work.
And I got fucking nowhere. I could not get it to work whatsoever.
It makes sense.
And in the audio option in the game itself doesn't give you the option to point the game to the driver. I could point my driver to the game, but it still wouldn't work.
How was the game? Dated?
Still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, still great. It's like I was just going through like I got to chapter 7 on the Terran campaign, so I was literally going to episode 1 and just starting fresh or whatever. Dude, it still feels good.
Huh.
It still plays really good. Like it doesn't feel dated. Like it feels dated because it's a little bit more pixelated and whatnot. And of course, like you got StarCraft 2 right next to it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, don't get me wrong, StarCraft 2 is like the better game in terms of gameplay. But as far as like playing a retro game, going back, it still felt good. It still felt great.
Is there a way to play it online still?
Oh yeah, you can still play it online. I think you can.
God, I loved playing Brood War online.
Here's the thing.
Oh my God.
I liked playing OG online. I fucking hated playing Brood War online.
Oh?
Because the addition of those new units fucked everything up for me. So like, for example, the spike lurkers that went underground into the spikes forward ruined me. Like, I don't know what it is about that particular mob, but like, I always went with like mass troops of one type, sadly.
Yeah.
And so
Dragoons for the Protoss.
Fuck yeah, man. Dragoon masses.
And carriers.
Oh, the carriers were so fun. I love doing mass carrier blitzes, man. They were so fun. Yeah, mass carrier
seeing
blitz is
those
so
roll
good.
in.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Is you knew you were fucked when you.
Yeah, you leave the game.
Yeah, like when you did like I don't know if like you ever did these custom maps, but like how I always played multiplayer, and this was the meta for being equal on even
the big money map.
Yeah,
that's all I did.
Yeah, big money map. So essentially, I'm going to try and describe it the best I can. Essentially, it was just a square map, and you have 2, 4, and 6? I think 6, 2.
Wasn't 8, was it?
I think it might have been 8
because
the corners. Yeah, because like it was an octagon. Yeah. So it was on 3. Yeah.
Was there a middle?
No, the middle was open. That's where everyone would end up converging. Yeah, because all of the bases on the bottom, on the middle sides, top, bottom, and in the corners, they would all be arranged the exact same way, where you would have your walls and it would kind of angle in and it would do that. Yeah. So it would be and that's how they would all be shaped. Your Vesper a gas extraction, and you'd only get one gas extraction and one mineral, and both of them would have unlimited money on them, right? Yeah. And so you just pump out all your drones and they just use them, and and on top of that, your base would be right next to them both, so it would be instant. Right? And so you'd get, because the whole purpose of those games were to be able to get money, to get resources really fast, to build up your force and just wrap up the game as quickly as possible. Because sometimes those games would go upwards of like 2 hours. Yeah. So that methodology of setting up the maps in a way where the base was right next to the minerals, and you'd only have one gas extractor and one mineral field, and both of them would have unlimited resources. It was just to speed up the game. Yeah. And that was the only way that we do it. And I think it was literally called Big Money Map.
Yeah, there was ones too where it just gave you so many resources when you mined that you could just build up a big army. So very similar, at least.
Yeah, and so that's how I always did my multiplayers. And then that just gave you the ability to rapid build and do mass blitzes of any one unit.
Yeah. Can't double team no mo. That was StarCraft.
Yeah. And me and my friends, we love doing the carrier blitz. Like that was always really fun. But then you came across someone who was way more skilled at it.
Yes, who could like micro and
where they would like, oh man. I remember one time me and a buddy were next to each other in the same corner, so we were really lucky. So we had a good chunk of the map, and the other team had one on the side and one on the bottom, so they were disjointed. So they expanded, so they automatically expanded. Yeah. And I remember my buddy went with the carriers, and then I went with the dragoons because
the combo.
That was our wombo combo. And then just as we were about to launch at the same time, we see the fucking color on the map started flooding.
Oh no.
We just saw like the blue. I think Buddy was red, and I think the other guy was like the orange color or whatever. Immediately we saw, like, just as we were about to go.
Oh my god.
Fucking see nothing.
That was
but
always
carriers.
scarier to see. Scarier.
Because they were both Protosses as well. So we were all 4 guys were Protosses.
Oh my god.
So then I just saw the map get flooded with blue and orange, and immediately we were decimated almost instantly.
Yeah, the carriers, seeing that from the fog of war and the color. Oh yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, as soon as you saw like a big color, like a big chunk of color coming your way, you're like, oh shit. Yep. Like, I'm in for it. I hope my defenses are good. No,
they're not.
My defenses are not good.
Defense.
It's like, come on, you stupid cannons. Killed those stupid carriers.
Cannons were really good.
They were really good. But man, if you had someone that was skilled with carriers and you just pick everything off, especially like the pylons. Oh.
Yes. Oh yeah, once your pylon,
that was done. Yeah. Oh my god, I will never get. It's hard to forget that match because because we were so confident. We were like, oh yeah, like we got this, because like we were not only able to build up the forces really faster than normal, but we were like coordinating like really good. Like everything was lining up in terms of like the timings.
They
and
beat
stuff.
you by a couple minutes.
It wouldn't have mattered. Even if we launched first, it wouldn't have mattered because they were so precise. Because they were so insanely precise of what they were targeting and how they were coordinated. It's really hard to describe because when you saw the colors started coming, you could literally see the maneuvers. But it was then seeing them how they were utilizing every groups of 2 or 3 units, picking off very specific things like directly. That's when I knew I was like, we're dealing with guys that know what the fuck they're doing and they're gonna wipe us out.
And they did.
And it literally from the time that they started their attack to the time that it was, by the time all of our shit was destroyed, it was like less than 5 minutes. It was like 4 minutes or under. They just swarmed us and had us decimated. It was incredible. I was so pissed off because I was like, we had it. No, we weren't even fucking close. No way, man.
Yeah,
no way.
That's a bad feeling too in the RTS games.
Yeah, it was. Like when you
realizing you're bad.
When you think you got it, you're doing good.
Yeah.
And then you just get fucking taken to school.
Yeah.
And curb stomped.
Nuked in Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Oh, dude.
They sent a nuke my way and my computer was so bad. And I heard like nuclear launch detected. Remember that? So scary. And then it launched it and my friends in the chat in all caps, Brian, look out. And I saw the nuke appear at the top of my screen. My computer froze. Got nuked. Logged back on while the game was over.
Your computer.
They nuked me.
And it froze your shit.
I always remember that. Nuclear launch detected.
Oh, that's terrible.
Ryan, look out.
Boom. Yeah, it froze your computer and everything. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I love that though. Yeah, dude. I always got extreme anxiety whenever I heard that nuclear launch detected. I'm like,
where's it going? Where's it going?
Yeah, dude. I always had like a lot of anxiety as a kid playing that game and hearing that, and I'm like, oh, I lose, dude. I lose.
Yeah, it's over.
Yes, there's preventative measures, but man, I was a kid at the time. It's like I wasn't that quick or smart.
No, it's a nuke. Game's over when the nukes are launched. Usually.
Yeah, because you're going to be set back too far back, especially if they get like a good hit.
Yep.
Nope. Then you're done.
Yeah. No. I love the RTS. The peak of RTS games.
Getting out of cosplays.
Like late 90s.
Yeah, dude. But I tried dabbling in StarCraft and it's still fun.
Yeah.
But I uninstalled it because
sound. I guess I started Final Fantasy VIII again.
Oh yeah?
I think
how many which playthrough number is this for you?
For 8? I don't think I've played through it 10 times. Like 7 I've probably played through 20 times.
Bullshit.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe 6. For 8, I don't really like it yet. I've played it so much. I'm playing it and I don't know, without getting too big into the battle system, I don't think I'm going to continue. But I played a couple hours. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't, like when it comes to like replay values of games, I don't replay too many games. Like it's starting to become less and less common for me to go back to replay a game. And that's only because there's just such an overabundance of good ones.
That's just it. There's so much now.
But at the same time, I still believe it's fairly important from time to time to go back and play some of the more memorable ones. And I think that's, in my opinion, I think that's a healthy thing to do.
It is, and it takes you back to that point in your life, and what you may have been going through and something you didn't understand when you were a kid that you can make sense as you play the game. Kind of,
hey, I never looked at it that way. That is true.
And it totally happens. Even through some of just the music of Final Fantasy. Yeah, playing old game can be very therapeutic in a lot of ways.
Especially when you have like good memories and you have like a fond attachment to it. Like for example, like I've talked about it before, like ActRaiser, for example, is one of those games for me where I could go back and play it and beat the shit out of it like effortlessly. and it's like one of those games that's like embedded in my DNA that I've literally beaten dozens of times.
Yeah.
And it's like also one of the games I haven't played in like the better part of 10 years. Actually, no. I think the last time I played it was when I was living up in Calgary. So that would have been like about 4 or 5 years ago was the last time.
Okay.
But prior to that, I hadn't touched it in like the better part of 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's just because like there's just so much other good stuff out there. And of course, priority of other life stuff kind of gets in the way. But I think as gamers, I think it's kind of important to kind of keep locked away in your mind or in your mind or somewhere to have access to those games that are nostalgic for you, that hold those sentimental values to you, to go back and actively progress in them again as adults in the future for that reason. I think that is actually important and probably healthy to do so.
Yeah. Unfinished business too, Beyond the Beyond. I'm still
especially when it comes to games that you quit in the past.
Yeah, it's weird
that you've never actually beaten.
Yeah, that I could do now. I know it. You know. Yeah. And it's been easy so far. That's the thing. So I got to go back, but it scares you.
I don't have like out of my retro games and whatnot that I have. I don't think out of all the ones that I have, I don't think any of them I own that I've never beaten. I think I've beaten them all.
Really?
I think I've beaten all the games that I own. Like from my retro systems. When I say retro systems, N64, Super Nintendo, and I actually know what I can't say that because does 360 and PS3 are those considered? No, those aren't considered retro.
20 years old. Yeah, they are.
Shit. Okay. I can't say all my retro ones because I have my Xbox 360 and I have my PS3 as well. And so I've definitely not beaten all the games on those. Not a chance. But of my small collection of N64 and Super Nintendo games, I've beaten them all.
I should look at mine now that you say that. My PS1 games, see how many I haven't beat.
I can tell you though, like which one is the fucking hardest that I'll probably never be able to beat again. That's either.
Give me a hint.
It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between Separation Anxiety.
Oh, Maximum Carnage, I think, was the harder one.
Maximum Carnage. Maximum Carnage is the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maximum Carnage and Separation Anxiety.
Battletoads for NES.
Oh fuck!
A lot of those beat 'em ups, really.
Those fuck man, Battletoads was hard. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Like Streets of Rage was pretty hard too. Now that I think about
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Battle Axe was hard. Holy shit. Oh, Golden Axe.
Golden Axe
2 specifically.
I loved Golden Axe 3 was mine.
Golden Axe 2 was my favorite because you got to ride the dragon.
Yeah.
And that's when they introduced it. And the dwarf with the axe was my favorite.
He was good.
He was my favorite.
I played as him.
But yeah, like that game was fucking hard. I never did beat that game. Hell no.
I never did either. Altered Beast. It wasn't a beat 'em up side scroller, but I never beat that. Did you play Altered Beast? You start as a skinny guy and you collect the little orbs as they fly around and you power up and eventually you turn into a big beast. It's hard.
Man, saw someone post a cover of a Sega Genesis fighting game.
Art of Fighting.
And it was one that I played as a kid because my cousin had it. And
Hit Fighter?
I fucking remember. I can see the cover in my head. So annoying. Where is it? Did I hit like on it? Probably didn't, did I? Fuck, no. Damn it. Missed it. I can't remember what it's called, but
it was for Genesis?
Yeah, it was for Genesis. It was
a fighting game?
It was a fighting game. I vividly remember the.
Okay, I'm gonna look here. Eternal Champions.
That's the one. Eternal Champions. That's the one.
Oddly enough, it was the first one that came up when I said Genesis fighting. That's kind of surprising. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, Eternal Champions. That's the one.
I gotta look it up. I forget what it looks like. Good one. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
That cover art here. Oops. Wow, that brings back memories.
Yeah. My cousin and I used to play the shit out of the game, and because I never had
I
never had a Sega, so but my cousin did, and he had that game, and
I don't remember this being good.
No, it was total shit. It sucked.
Like there was something like with the hitboxes. I can't remember. There was something that really did. I can't remember. We should play it, I guess.
I can't remember it as far as like, I remember just not liking it too much, but I remember my cousin liked it because he kicked the shit out of me.
Yes.
And he was good at it.
Yeah.
But I remember playing it and just thinking like, I'm like, man, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are way better. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter is way. Oh yeah. Killer. Because what year was that game? Now that I think about it.
I think it said 93 or 4. 1993.
Oh yeah, Killer Instinct wouldn't have been out by then. But Mortal Kombat was.
Yeah, Killer Instinct was 94. 95,
I think it was. 95 or 96.
I'm going to look.
Because that was from Rare, I believe.
Killer. Yeah, it was. Instinct released.
Super Nintendo.
Oh. The arcade one.
Yeah, I got Killer Instinct on my Super Nintendo too.
The original Killer Instinct's so old that I put in Killer Instinct release date, and I'm getting the new one from 2013.
You had to put in any SNES?
Jeez. 1995 for arcades 95. In 94.
Yep.
And then released for Super Nintendo and Game Boy in 1995.
I remember the Game Boy. I played the Game Boy one too. I remember that.
Holy shit.
And it was actually not bad. Like, as far as like a mobile fighting game, it was like, if I had played that before the Super Nintendo one, it would have been passable as being like a main game as far as like a mobile game.
That would
right?
have been Game Boy to Super Nintendo, like next gen.
Then go
2 buttons.
So, but going from fucking Super Nintendo to Game Boy, that was definitely rough.
Oh yeah,
that
it
was
would
really
be
rough. But man, it was like it was still fine. It was okay. It wasn't too bad. But then, for sure, it was like one of those things where it's like I don't know. I liked Killer Instinct in totality. Like, all of the Killer Instinct games that I have played were really good. And the Game Boy one, I think it was fine for its time. But I think I would have been like more mind-blowing going from that to Super Nintendo.
Well, Killer Instinct on Game Boy, I imagine looking like those Tiger Electronic games that you get in Toys R Us.
I love those, man.
Like
I had the Power Ranger Tiger.
I didn't get how to play them.
Oh yeah, those were hard.
I don't think they even did themselves. I just think I don't think you actually played them. How? They were so bad.
It was literally
people collect those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they go for money, man.
Yeah.
I had the Power Ranger one growing up of the Tiger game, and I still remember how to play that game. And I remember that I beat it. It just looped. All it was just a loop.
Yeah.
And it was, but man, yeah, those Tiger games were those were
everywhere.
Fun.
There were so many of them.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And I have to remember exactly. There was another one that my brother had one as well. My older brother, and I can't remember which one that one was. Oh, it was a Ninja Turtle one. My brother had the Ninja Turtle Tiger handheld. That one I could not beat. Shredder kept kicking my ass.
There was even ones. There was every IP had one. Like, I swear there was like Home Alone. There was Full House. Like, everything had a frickin' game on those things.
Tiger, yeah, everyone had a Tiger machine.
There was so many of those. Yeah, dime a dozen.
Those are definitely collector items, and people especially on eBay, still pay money for those.
Yeah.
And like the wife and I, make no mistake, we keep our eyes out for them.
Yeah.
And we've come across a couple, but then we saw that we've come across, I think we came across a Wheel of Fortune one, and the dude wanted $30 for it. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, at a garage sale.
And then, it was at a garage sale. And the guy wanted $30 for it. And I was like, fuck that. Look on eBay and look under sold listings on eBay. And I was seeing them on average $20 with like a sell-through rate of like 26-30%.
It's just people that just look at listings, not sold.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, that is exactly what they do. And they do that in fucking mass.
Yeah. Well, it's worth this.
Just listed on eBay for 500. That's what my wife has said that to someone too. Really, she's like, "Oh, it's listed on eBay for this much." She's like, "Yeah, but
it's only worth what it's paid."
Like, but how much was it sold for? Oh, but it's listed on eBay. Like, no, how much was it sold for? It's like, doesn't matter. Buying it. Because his wife even said, she's like, doesn't like listings doesn't matter. It's what's sold.
Yeah,
what's sold is what matters.
Yeah.
And she's even said that to people to their face, be like, I can go on eBay right now and list that very thing for $500 and say it's worth $500.
the marketplace stupidity as a whole
for e-commerce,
from people is so frustrating. Like the people that just, hey, is this available? Yeah. The
Nothing.
Homer in the bushes, you know, Grandpa Simpson grabbing his hat and leaving. Like, it's like, what the hell is this?
The wife runs into that every single time she posts something on Facebook Marketplace. She runs into that every time. Is this still available? And she would answer like the message within 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, she'll be like, yeah, absolutely. And nothing.
Yeah. Like people just change their mind in the fraction of a second on who
happens. But yeah, absolutely. But
nonstop. Frustrating.
Anyways, so let's wrap this one up, shall we? We're at an hour and a half.
Okay.
I think we did good. Most of it was like a lot of ranting about Best Buy.
It needed to happen, and it will happen more.
It will happen.
It has to come out.
There's going to be a time when
it's dedicated time.
Oh yeah, there'll be a time where we'll just do like 1 hour of like unscripted, like just we'll actually have to like write down and remember.
We should have
a lot
guests.
Eventually in the future, I could
question guests and do like a whole expose, a big thing,
dude. Well, when I go to school, I'm gonna have like I'm gonna have access to like their podcast production studio and whatnot. So when I'll be able to essentially do this in like a more professional environment, and at that point, I can definitely drag people with me and be like, "Hey, let's tell some stories." Sadly, I wouldn't be able to do it. Can't have any drinks or anything like that, sadly, because like no food or drinks are allowed in.
So your backpack's in there. What are they gonna do?
Just like no food or drinks are allowed.
You're the customer.
I know, but like no food or drinks are allowed in like in that area at all. Like, and I get why, because it looks like they actually like gutted.
Candy's not.
They ended up replacing all of their computers. All of the computers were upgraded. We're like the first term is literally the first term is the first time that these computers are going to be used.
No food and drink. Absolutely
no food and drink. No, because like especially in my program, the computers that we're going to be using in our program, I want to know what the specs are for them, because allegedly those are the most powerful units in the entire school.
Really?
Yeah. Excluding like the VR guys, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I guess separate. That makes sense, right?
Yep. Excluding like the VR guys, we have the most powerful computers.
Wow.
And we're going to be the first ones to use them. I'm like, cool.
That's cool.
They're all fucking Dells though, which kind of makes me sad. So, I'm really curious to what the specs are on them. So as soon as I get my hands on it, I'm going to dig and I'm going to find out, because I'm curious.
Fun.
Yep. So I'm anxious, scared, stoked, all of the crazy emotions when it comes to going back to school. But mostly I'm just like looking forward to like playing with all the tech.
Starts getting really real. It's feeling real.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's kind of like I'm not like too crazy nervous, because like 10 years ago I already went through the throes of post-secondary. I didn't get through it successfully, but I already went through the throes, and so I'm already kind of prepared, kind of know what I'm prepared. I'm already knowing what I'm walking into to an extent. As far as like going back to school portion, I kind of already know what that's like. I've already done it. Now I just have to get through the shit and actually put the work in and actually get my fucking diploma.
Yeah.
Unlike last time. So yeah, anyways.
Do or die.
It is now. All right. Let's wrap up episode 8. Fuck, I can't even keep track of it. Yeah. Episode 8. All right. That'd be my man, Bubbazoom. And I'm Zethus. We'll see you at episode 9. Cheers. Yeah, I gotta press this button, don't I?